Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Oh, this is fun.
Welcome. Great to have you with us. It's 888-933-93, our phone number. Welcome back, Keith.
Thank you.
How's your vacation?
Oh, it's just so great. We were the reason we're a little late coming in here is you were rocking out to
Chuck Mangione.
Yeah,
well, first of all,
yeah.
Aqualung, for some reason, somebody was, I don't know, doing one of those weird analysis of songs.
Those are fun on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. First time they hear a song.
And then to get that out of our head, Keith played Chuck Mangione's "Feels So Good," which is
awesome.
Which doesn't feel good to hear it again.
No, really?
No, really.
Oh no. So then we just lost.
I don't think I've heard that
time.
since 1978, and I haven't wanted to hear it since before then. Even before it came out, I didn't want to hear it. So
wow.
Yeah. So there we are.
Okay.
With Chuck Mangione. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Well, yeah, I thought I was helping you out there.
Not one of my all-time favorites. No.
Well.
But anyway, welcome back. You had a good time, did you?
Yeah, had a good time, and I'm so thrilled to be back here, though. I mean, I missed you so terribly.
And likewise.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I'm feeling it. Feeling it. Mm-hmm. Hey, we got a new Pat Gray bingo board to start the week.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, okay. Shoo. I was making sure you had yours over there. Good.
It
okay.
starts in the upper left-hand corner with playoffs. And then we've got allegations pressed on your name. Let's see, that's...
By the way, if you want to play, go to @PatUnleashed on Twitter and print up the bingo board. And if you get bingo, call 888-900-3393 to win.
Yeah, $35 toward the purchase of something cool at patheadshop.com.
Mm-hmm.
And once it gets expired after that, you will be taken under custody by the local police, as there are 4 serious allegations pressed on your name at this moment.
Allegations pressed on your name.
If you're going to run a scam from a foreign country, at least get the verbiage right.
Yeah, they don't, though. That's what I love about it. They don't. Then Keith saying...
Bro.
Then there's... Right? Toxic masculinity.
Ooh.
This guy's a liar.
And this guy's a liar.
Why was traffic problems email sent?
This is not the Babylon Bee.
We have to keep reminding us that society is not that.
Then Jeffy, how about no? Mr. Twitter.
Oh, that's you.
The next line, Jeffy again. A fat guy seating. Godless animals.
Oh.
I'm not your trained monkey. Doohickey. Keith.
That's the show title, guys. That's the show title today.
HOA rules. Keith again.
Oh, snap.
The liberal weenie voice, which I guess would be something like this. And then there's this.
I love Chinese
classic.
people too, but come on.
And this.
So let's use brain cells before we post things on the internet. Thanks.
You can throw out all the record books. 15 days to flatten the curve. Jeffy, what are you going to do? Then, oh wow, I don't know that I found this one. Black Panther, right?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, he's a Black Panther guy.
Let's see.
That's a bit. I don't have that.
Try iota.
Let's see.
Or cracker.
Cracker babies.
Cracker babies.
Cracker babies.
I hate white people. All of them.
Yeah.
Every last iota of a cracker, I hate it.
There you go. I hate every last iota of a cracker. And then scattered showers of journalism. So,
we gotta hope. We gotta hope something good happens from the press this week, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is doubtful.
Yeah.
So that square may never be filled. Just know that going in. All right. Let's see. Really great to have you with us this morning. There's new information out about the vaccine and how people are responding to it and whether or not they're contracting COVID-19 after receiving it. For instance, 74% of the new COVID outbreak in Massachusetts, 74% are fully vaccinated.
Yep.
What? How can that be? 74%? That's crazy. I mean, that is nuts. But apparently true. 4 of them have ended up in the hospital. The new data published by the U.S. agency's Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report also found that fully vaccinated people who get infected carry as much of the virus in their nose as unvaccinated people and could spread it to other individuals. Oh, okay, well, good. This finding is concerning and was a pivotal discovery leading to the CDC's updated mask recommendation, according to Director Rochelle Walensky.
Yeah, and that outbreak you talk about in Massachusetts, a similar one is happening in San Francisco at 2 major hospitals there. They've got 233 staff members infected, most of them fully vaccinated.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, in Pfizer, they had a study where they had 15 patients who received the vaccine died, and 14 who received the placebo died. Again, showing no difference in the numbers.
Wow.
That was a Pfizer study they did themselves. So
that's amazing.
I think we're kind of at the point where governments are going to have to say, okay, our bad. Do you think they're going to do this? You think they're going to say, no mandates, just kidding, haha?
No.
No, they're not. Of course not.
No, they're not. The Delta variant now at least 132 countries and already the dominant form of the disease in the United States, more transmissible than the common cold, the 1918 Spanish flu, smallpox, Ebola, MERS, and SARS, according to the document. Only measles appears to spread faster than the Delta variant. Huh. The data published Friday was based on 469 COVID associated with multiple summer events and large public gatherings held in July in Barnstable County, Massachusetts, which encompasses Cape Cod, and it's just outside Martha's Vineyard. The events were held in Provincetown. About 3/4, 74% of the cases occurred in fully vaccinated people who had completed a two-dose course of the mRNA vaccines or received a single shot of Johnson & Johnson. So overall, 274 vaccinated patients with a breakthrough infection were symptomatic, according to the CDC. The most common side effects, cough, headache, sore throat, muscle pain, fever. Among 5 COVID patients who were hospitalized, 4 were fully vaccinated. No deaths were reported in this particular case. Wow. So Pfizer's study showed 15 deaths of those who had taken the Pfizer shot.
Right. And 14
with the placebo.
Correct.
So they actually took nothing and got COVID, and 14 of them died.
Made no difference either way.
In fact, it was a little bit worse with the Pfizer. Jeez.
I'm telling you, man. Like you just said, the government's not going to admit any kind of mistake.
No, they're not.
Whether with the vaccine itself or the mandating of getting it. So here we are. We've got to make a decision now as a society. Are we gonna go the way of some of these European countries enforcing these vaccine mandates? Although France, nice pushback there. It's good to see them in the streets. But Italy's going through this. I think it's Spain. Several countries are at the crossroads we're going to be at really soon. In fact, so many companies like Domino's were falling, not the company Domino's, but they were just falling like dominoes late last week. Facebook, Google, several others, just 1 hour after another, making all these mandates. It's a very dangerous time.
And the federal government mandating it through many federal agencies, and there's, I think they're pondering right now just all federal agencies having to be vaccinated. If you work for a federal agency, you're going to have to be vaccinated. I don't think there's much doubt of that. Meanwhile, Dr. Fauci continues to be a buffoon. I don't know how much longer we're going to have to put up with this guy. I'm really tired of it. I'm at my wit's end with Dr. Fauci.
Right.
I really am.
And somebody put together a nice little montage of all of his many stances on masks.
No, he's had more than one?
Oh, yeah. Can you believe this?
Huh.
I mean, he's solid as a rock, right? He's so steady.
Yeah, here he is. Here's steady
People should
Fauci
not be
right
walking
now.
around with masks. Let me just state for the record that masks are not theater. Wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and masks are protective. But it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is.
There has not been any indication that putting a mask on and wearing a mask for a considerable period of time has any deleterious effects. There are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face.
And can you get some schmutz sort of staying inside there?
Of course.
You do not need to wear a mask indoors if, in fact, you've been vaccinated. Good that you're vaccinated, but in a situation where you have people indoors, particularly crowded, you should wear a mask.
So even if you are vaccinated, you should wear a mask. If in fact you are vaccinated, fully vaccinated, you are protected, and you do not need to wear a mask outdoors or indoors. When the children go out into the community, you want them to continue to wear masks.
You know, if you look at children outside, particularly when they're with the family, walking down the street, playing a game or what have you, don't have to wear a mask.
The pediatric, the Academy of Pediatric actually makes that recommendation that children should be wearing masks from 2 years old onward.
And you're asking now, if your child is a member of your household, can you walk outdoors with your child without a mask? According to that chart, the answer is yes.
But the child can't, not to beat it to death.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Because now the CDC says, I mean, I think I've got this right. 1 mask is better than 0 masks. 2 masks is better than 1 mask. But you don't have to have double masks. Is that right? I mean,
it became clear that cloth coverings that you didn't have to buy in a store, that you could make yourself, were adequate.
And then you want it to fit better. So one of the ways you could do it, if you would like to, is put a cloth mask over, which actually here and here and here, where you could get leakage in, is much better contained.
And are you a double masker, Dr. Fauci? It looks like you are.
Looks like a 0 masker at that Nationals game, huh?
Jeez. That is incredible.
He's been
how does he have an ounce of credibility with anybody?
All over the map with this guy.
How is it possible? He just loves the sound of his voice. Man, he just loves to be on television. And he'll say anything at the spur of a moment. None of this stuff is based in science.
But he's the guy that people literally fawn over.
Yeah, they do.
In everything he says.
Yeah.
Do people not have I know the answer to that question. They have no memory.
A couple months back, he was discussing the vaccine and its effectiveness.
Masks is confusing people a little because 2 weeks ago the CDC said that people who had been vaccinated were safer while wearing masks. Now there's new guidance. What changed in that period?
Well, what's happened, there's been an accumulation of data, John, showing in the real world effectiveness of the vaccines. It is even better than in the clinical trials.
Wow.
Well over 90% protecting you
Listen to
against
that.
disease, number one. Number two, a number of papers have come out in the past couple of weeks showing that the vaccine protects even against the variants that are circulating.
Even against the variants.
Nice.
We're seeing that it is very unlikely that a vaccinated person, even if there's a breakthrough infection, would transmit it to someone else. So the accumulation of all of those scientific facts, information, and evidence brought the CDC to make that decision to say, now, when you're vaccinated, you don't need to wear a mask, not only outdoors, but you don't need to wear it indoors.
Look at that. You're good. You are good to go. Just get that vaccine, baby.
Except you're not. Except you're not. And now you can spread the vaccine, or you can spread the virus after you've had the vaccine. You got just as much virus in your nose as the unvaccinated. Okay. All right. Then he says to blame the variant, not the vaccine.
60 days ago, the CDC came out with the recommendation that individuals who are vaccinated do not need to wear masks indoors or outdoors.
Right.
Something has changed, and what has changed is the virus. The CDC hasn't changed, and the CDC hasn't really flip-flopped at all. What's happened is that when that earlier recommendation was made, we were dealing predominantly with the Alpha
No,
variant.
no, you said variants, man.
Wow.
You just said the clip we just played. You said, "Oh, it's particularly good against the variants too." Oh,
he sure did. But now that's changed as well.
I'm telling you, this guy.
Oh, it's crazy. That is amazing. All right, let me tell you about Rough Greens. We've been talking about Rough Greens for a while now. That's a powder that you sprinkle over your dog's food. You know, the food that's dead, and all the nutrients have been burned out of it because they have to sterilize it so that it lasts on the shelves for up to 3 years. But when you simply sprinkle some of the Rough Greens on your dog's food, you're then putting back all the essential vitamins and minerals, the probiotics, the omega oils, all the things that your dog needs to be healthy and happy and active. Most dogs really love this stuff, too. Right out of the gate, mine certainly did. She wouldn't eat her food without it, actually. Just turned up her nose. If the Rough Greens wasn't on it, she'd walk away from it. Now, apparently, there are some dogs who take a while to take to the Rough Greens, and you can find out if your dog is one of those. We'll send you a free bag of Rough Greens for your dog to try out for a few days. Just a small bag that you can try out, see if they like it, and then you can dive in head first. But all you have to pay for is shipping. Just go to roughgreens.com. That's roughgreens.com for your free bag, or call 833-ROUGH-DOG.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Then there's our bizarre and disgusting president. On Friday, he had a speech where he had, I don't know what he had on his chin, but it was nasty. And one of his aides slipped him a note that said, hey, you've got something on your chin.
But how do we know that's what the note said? Is it because he just wiped his chin and moved on with his life?
It's because he was holding it up.
He literally showed the world the note.
There is something on your chin.
He was so clueless. He didn't realize he was showing him. I mean,
And
there's this
there it is.
egg. I think it was egg.
Oh.
He obviously
And then
had-
he wiped it off and ate it.
No, he didn't eat it.
He ate it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
the proof is puddings and eating.
Seriously, he ate it?
Like a 4-year-old.
Wait, let's watch this video.
He wiped it off and ate it.
No.
I'm going to make a brief statement here, and then we'll get to ask the Vice President to say a few words, get some questions, and we'll get down to business, if that's okay with you all.
That's fine. Sure. Go ahead.
1 month ago, we convened the first of what will be a regular presidential briefing on wildfire preparedness.
And expand your capacity is through the partnership that we have, the federal and state government, along with local governments. This issue is ongoing each year, as we have discussed.
And there it is. Oh, no! No!
I want to vomit.
This time of year than normal. We've had 2.5 times more acreage burn in the
Okay,
last
so now
decade
watch
than
this.
Previous. So
then
those
he
are
holds
the
it up.
obvious concerns, and everything you need to fight a fire, we can
Bizarre.
use your help
Bro,
on.
what are
And
you
I
doing?
think you've been totally on top of this.
That
and
would be
so
embarrassing if-
I thank you for your leadership on
If that
on
happened to
all
one of
these
us,
things,
you know?
including
It would.
management
Yeah, it
issues.
would.
There's unanimity. There's bipartisan.
And we're not the president
acceptance
of the
the
United
need for
States.
active management.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah, so if we ever did something like that, that'd be bad, right?
Yeah, that'd be embarrassing. Sure would.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoops. Sorry. That I didn't even catch it the first time that he ate the freaking egg off his face.
He ate it like a 4-year-old. He
Oh
ate
my.
It. He licked it up right off his finger. Licked it up.
That is seriously something you would see
A day-old egg.
in an old folks home.
Yeah.
At the end of the hall.
Yes.
Dude sitting in the wheelchair,
So
hoping
gross.
somebody opens the door for him so he can escape.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got some egg here. Yeah, there it is.
His butt is wiped.
His butt has been wiped. His chin has been cleaned. And that man is the leader of the free world.
Oh, that's bumming it.
Oh, gosh, that is embarrassing.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Then Friday, he was also babbling about wildfires.
Oh.
And wildfires in Delaware, which I guess I
I've
didn't
not
know
heard
was
this.
a huge problem. But
my
apparently,
goodness.
yeah, there's quite a problem in Delaware that he told us about.
I come from the state of Delaware.
Right.
We had more acreage burn last year than the state of Delaware and Maryland combined.
So the state
combined.
Combined.
You all are Montana. That ain't mine. But back, I want people to get a sense.
Combined. The state of Delaware had more acreage burned than the state of Delaware and Maryland combined.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't take Keith math to get stuck on this one.
No.
How does that work?
I don't know.
Wow, he's not good.
And he never came back and corrected it, so I don't know what he was talking about. Are you talking about California? Does he mean California? He can't, because he was talking about the state of Delaware and the state of Delaware. Wait, okay, so you're talking about the state of Delaware. We got that. But it had more acreage burned than the state of Delaware.
Did he just get his words out of order?
I don't know.
I mean,
who knows?
He is.
Seriously, who knows? He's out to lunch, and he's not coming home for dinner.
Unless it's eggs.
Yeah. Well, he's already got dinner on his face. He'll be eating that.
It's a portable lunch, is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh my, that. Wow.
So
I mean, that's not his only screw ups in the last 72 hours.
No, what was the deal with the kid?
That's not. I wasn't even thinking that one. Okay, so I was thinking just do the kid one, and then I'll do the other one. Look at this. What's he handing to this kid? You know what he's handing to this kid? His dirty, nasty, egg-covered mask. Watch his hand.
What does Joe Biden put in Andy Bashir's son's hand? Looks like his mask. Watch Joe Biden's.
Yeah, we got some narration here from the guy who filmed this for us. That's
the
good.
TikTok guy.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And he's on fire too.
Watch the kid's right hand.
Okay.
And he reaches out to hold.
Yeah, we know.
Hand.
We got it. Watch.
Okay, and he grabs his hand.
Ugh.
What?
Ugh.
He's holding hands with him.
Right. Now, first of all, that's creepy in of itself.
You watch the kid.
And the kid's like, whoa.
The kid's like,
what is
it?
in my
Just gave me
hand?
your nasty mask. I don't want that.
Oh.
That will back you up.
That's gross. That's really gross.
What is that? What is that? Why would you do that?
That's.
Why would you do that? Because I guess
grotesque.
The president had it, and now. Plus, it was weird because they were holding hands for a second.
And it was so weird because he takes the one hand, grabs the kid's hand. It's like, hey, I want you to have this.
Yeah.
And then purposefully puts the mask in there. Oh.
Why? So weird.
So that's the Kentucky governor's son, apparently. I heard him say Andy Bashir there. So, and the kid's like, what's in my hand? Okay, I guess I'll just...
It's the president's nasty mask. Put that right on your face. And
we need to follow up with that kid. Was there egg in that mask?
Wow, that's really weird.
Okay.
That's just weird.
So bad. Yeah.
Then we find out he was the president for the vice president for Donald Trump.
I didn't realize this.
I didn't either.
This is a new fact for us.
Yeah.
Back in 2009, during the so-called Great Recession, the president asked me to be in charge of managing that piece. Then President Trump. Excuse me, Freudian slip. That was the last president.
Yeah, we know.
He caused it anyway. That was President Obama when I was vice president.
Anyway. Wow. And that's how he tries to reset his brain and his thought process. Anyway. Or, look.
And I love how he tells the rest of us, that was the last president. Wow. Thanks for sharing that information. I mean, because it was probably news to him in that moment. But the rest of us already knew that, Joe. But thank you, anyhow, for covering your bases.
A Freudian slip would lead us to believe that...
Oh, no, here we go.
Because you dislike Trump so much, so you slipped and insinuated Trump's name where Obama should be. So does that mean that you don't like Obama? Is that what that means?
Huh.
It's a Freudian slip that you're calling Obama Trump?
See, you're not going to get that analysis on any other show this morning. It's a good point. You know what it shows?
That's what a Freudian slip is, right?
Yeah, and it shows that Donald Trump lives rent-free in Joe Biden's head.
It does show that, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he sure does.
By the way, Trump's got a nice little war chest growing.
I think I saw 182 million altogether.
So it was up there, and
it's a lot.
It just makes you think. Boy, if he wants to run in 2024, yeah, it's over 100 million. Yeah, 102.
102. Okay. $102 million. And it's 2021. Imagine what that's going to be. He'll have over $1 billion by the time he runs, if he does, in 2024. And I think he's going to. I really do. I think he's starting to move forward now. I think he's getting his head back together. I think he knows what he wants to do, and he's going to head forward now. I think he's going to go and do it and try to win back the presidency. We'll see. But then that would eliminate, of course, DeSantis. DeSantis would get out. I bet everybody gets out if he's in it. Who's going to run against him? I don't want none of that. Didn't you learn your lesson in 2016? I mean, he destroyed everybody. He didn't just beat them. He kind of ruined their political careers.
Well, and he shared Lindsey Graham's cell phone number with the rest of the world. There is nothing off limits for campaigning with this guy.
That's right. So you know what you're in for if you go up against him. Good luck with that. So then there's a video of a staffer. We had that. There's a video of him talking about the coming war.
Gosh, yeah.
This is interesting,
especially when it's him telling us. Oh.
Yeah, here's Joe Biden talking about the coming war.
My very close friend Vladimir Putin.
Whoa, close.
You're very close. Wait,
I can
pause.
tell. The one
Stop
thing
it
I've
for a
been
second.
dealing-
All right. Wait a minute. Now Vladimir Putin is your close friend?
Yeah, they're buddies.
I thought that was Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. I thought Putin was a Russian agent. I thought Putin was the guy who was colluding with Russia. I thought he was the guy who was too close with Putin. Now all of a sudden you're good friends, close personal friends with Vladimir Putin? Huh. All right, let's hear that again. Interesting.
Meeting, as you all know, with my very close friend Vladimir Putin. I can tell. The one thing I've been dealing with world leaders a long time.
He can tell.
Just like all of you women and men, you can sort of sense somebody else after a while.
Oh.
He knows.
He knows something.
That you're better than his team. And it bothers the hell out of him.
Cybersecurity, okay.
Not a joke.
Not a joke. No.
Times two.
And he, as a consequence of you, thinks we have capacities he may even exaggerate. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Wait.
When I was with Mr. Putin, who has a real problem, he's sitting on top of an economy that has nuclear weapons and oil wells and nothing else.
Okay.
Nothing else. Their economy is the 8th smallest in the world now.
Stop
Largest in
repeating
the world.
everything.
He knows he's in real trouble, which makes him even more dangerous in my view.
More dangerous in my view.
You know, we've seen how cyber
he
threats,
didn't.
including ransomware attacks, increasingly are able to cause damage and disruption in the real world. I can't guarantee this, and you're as informed as I am.
What?
But I think it's more likely we're going to end up, if we end up in a war, a real shooting war, with a major power, it's going to be as a consequence of a cyber breach of great consequence.
Wow.
And it's increasing exponentially.
Did he say exponential?
Yeah. No. He said it wrong.
He said exponentially.
Exponentially.
Okay. All right.
So there's so much there. Oh my gosh.
There's a lot there.
He's basically predicting a war.
Yeah, from the president of the United States.
And he also said that
talk about irresponsible.
You have access to the same information I do. I'm sorry. What was that? Are you not the president of the United States? My gosh. And then he also made it sound like Putin thinks we can do more than we can. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Can we not do it? Or, oh my gosh, this guy is...
He's a nightmare. He's an absolute nightmare. He doesn't make any sense. He doesn't know how to handle our enemies or our friends. He doesn't know where he is half the time. And he's eating old egg off his own face. Gross. Really nasty.
Where else are you supposed to keep it, man?
Yes. What? Oh, okay. It's time. It's
I
time.
don't think there's a follow-up.
Okay.
Sorry.
That was weird. 888-900-3393 and at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. As President Joe Biden completed 100 days in the office a few months ago, the country was optimistic. They were optimistic about the coming year.
Were they?
Yeah. Well, according to this poll.
Okay.
But now, just after hitting the 6-month mark, America's optimism about the direction of the company plummeted nearly 20 points. 55% say they're pessimistic. Yeah, I think we mentioned this on Friday or Thursday or Friday. 55% said they're pessimistic. 36% roughly said that same thing in the poll back after 100 days. So only 36% were pessimistic back then. Now 55% are. I wonder why. I don't know where that comes from. Everything's been going so well. What are you people picky? You want a president who's got his mind still intact? Is that what you want? Come on.
I'd say that 55% being pessimistic is an optimistic number.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's that high.
Right. Well, I think Rasmussen has it worse than that by a lot. So we'll see. People are gonna wake up. I mean, you can't have a president eating egg off his own face.
Right.
And then people thinking, oh, okay, everything's fine. You can't have it.
And by the way, do you remember last week I mentioned a couple weeks ago, man, I got this money, it showed up in my bank account. Yeah, that's not extra money from Joe Biden. That's just an early deposit from my child tax credit.
And that's just weird.
And so when people...
It's for instead of the refund next year.
It's an advance. That's all it is.
They just gave it to you now.
So you
won't get it then.
Right. Wait till next spring.
They're going to be pissed.
Right. When people...
people are going to be mad.
Where's my child tax credit? Oh, that's what we've been depositing every month for the last 6 months. What?
That's just crazy. I can't believe that. It sounded like, hey, this is a new big tax break for millions of Americans. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah. And so it's spread out over, 12 months, I think, something like that. And so
that's crazy.
So they're going to kind of placate them, till the middle of next summer. But when people are filing their taxes and they don't have that big return that they're expecting to go to Best Buy with.
Exactly. They're going to be angry. Very angry.
Especially when somebody's going to have to explain to them. No. Remember all that money you've been getting in your bank account?
Yeah.
That was this. What? Well, I thought that was free.
Yeah, I thought that was extra. I thought that was just more.
Thought that was extra. Yep.
Nope. It wasn't. It's just what you were going to get in the spring. You got it instead last summer. Congratulations.
Just wait for the riots to begin anew.
Yeah. Bill Maher had Representative Stacey Plaskett.
Yeah, you know her. She's from the Virgin Islands. Big name in Congress.
Big name.
Can't even vote.
From the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Right. She has as many votes in Congress as you do.
Yeah, right. So she was discussing conservatives and the way they're talking about Simone Biles because everybody's supposed to be happy that Simone Biles quit on her team. That's supposed to be a really great thing now. That's cool. Hey, it's the cool thing to quit. Just don't do it. As the, I guess, new Nike would have you say. Just don't do it.
Just don't do it.
Don't do it. Okay? Sit down and rest and watch your team instead. Why should you compete? Don't fight through it. Don't do it.
Nice.
Right?
You should get into ad jingles and stuff.
Right?
Make those.
So here's what she had to say.
I must say the award for lowest, vilest was the conservatives who went after Simone Biles. I just want to reiterate what I said. This is not a choice. We
Pause it for a second. By the way, went after. I didn't hear anybody go after her, but you can't mention that, hey, what happened to sticking it out? Like Carrie Strug back in 1996 on a broken leg. She had a broken bone in her leg.
You can do it.
Right.
Remember that?
Bella Caroli.
Yeah.
Yes, you can do it. Okay, Mr. Romanian guy.
That was weird in of itself, but it worked.
Yes, but man, he kicked USA Gymnastics into high gear, and it's been good ever since, really. But I guess we're just supposed to say, yeah, that was a great thing that she did. Wow,
you're not allowed to
brave.
be disappointed, Pat.
I guess not. I guess not. And it's only conservatives who expect you to keep going? Nobody, I don't think anybody would have been concerned had she said, look, I can't do it this time. I'm 24 years old. I've been under stress since I was 14. I'm just not going to do it.
And Larry Nassar, too.
Right.
That's got to weigh on her.
Yes.
I would think that you would want to bow out after that.
Had she bowed out before the Olympics and said, look, I just can't, I don't have it anymore. So it's not in me. So I'm just going to let the rest of these girls do it. Nobody would have had anything to say about that. That would have been fine. In the middle of the competition, when the gold medal is on the line, that's a different thing. Just finish the competition. Finish what you started. I think most Americans have been taught to do that. I think most of us have been told that is the thing to do. And then all of a sudden, no, we're supposed to just say, wow, that's really cool. That's great. How courageous that she took a mental health day or week or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And now she bowed out of all the competition. Now she's coming back. She's going to compete on the balance beam tomorrow.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
That is weird.
I keep getting alerts. She's out of this event. And then the next, she's out of this event. And then all of a sudden, she's in this one.
She's back in the event.
This is a no-lose situation for her, really. Because if she gets up there and falls on her face, everyone will be like, oh, at least you tried. Right. And then if she wins, it's like, oh my gosh!
So maybe the stress is off a little bit. Maybe the pressure has calmed down to the point where she can handle it now. And maybe that's what she's thinking. I don't have anything to lose now. But the U.S. women's soccer team does. They just did lose to Canada. And they will play for the bronze medal. Instead of the gold.
And that was a blowout, man. Canada won, 1-0. Woo!
Whoa.
That was...
You can't overcome a 1-0 lead in soccer. It's impossible.
That's action on the pitch, is what that is.
So they, after all the whining and complaining and moaning about we don't make enough money and it's not enough to make more than the men, we got to make even more than the men, I guess. Because USA Soccer said, well, we already paid them more over the last decade than we paid the men. And by the way, I mean, the U.S. men didn't even qualify for the Olympics.
Right.
So,
hey, but they won that other cup, the gold cup. They won that.
Yes. Sort of a JV competition.
I called it the NIT. But I had
kind of like that.
Yeah, I had a relative tell me that's not accurate. It's a different team, and that's actually a different squad altogether. I'm like, yeah, whatever. NIT, got it.
Shut up.
They won the NIT. But the women now going to play for bronze. You know, if there's an Olympian that needs to take a mental health day, it's Megan Rapinoe. Cuckoo. But do you think they're even going to care now? Do you think she's going to?
I don't know.
I mean, so. But you want to hear the rest of what this Virgin Islands congresswoman had to say?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
She's got a message for you, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Poor girl. This amazing machine.
I forgot we started with this.
Not permanently, but temporarily just broke it.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine the anxiety? These armchair quarterbacks sitting there
do you know what
with crumbs on their shirt, looking at someone who twists and flies in the air and ends on a little strip. And it's like, well, boy. Where's your mental toughness?
My response to them is they can kiss my overworked black woman ass.
Oh, wow.
Oh. She was waiting to say that.
Oh, boy.
I was going to second that, but I guess I can't.
We don't even know who you are. How are you overworked? Are you what? You need to be saying something for Simone, not you.
Wow.
I don't know
pathetic.
Who that lady is.
I don't either.
She's overworked at doing nothing in Congress.
Jeez.
Wow.
What do they even do?
What is the point of a Virgin Islands representative
who has no say in Congress, who can't vote in Congress? Why?
I'm typing into Google like, what do you do?
It's bizarre. That's really weird. It is bizarre. So it's U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico's in the same, and Guam, I think, as well.
So you send somebody to Congress.
You send them, and they sit there all day.
I mean, can they talk? I seriously don't know.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what they do. when they're territories. I don't know what they do.
Wow.
All right. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. The USA men's basketball team, by the way, made it to the knockout competition, the knockout round.
Yeah.
So they did win their next couple of games. They beat Iran.
Boy, if they
that incredible basketball power, Iran.
If they had lost that game.
And then they beat, who was it? 119-84, I know was the score.
119-84, you said?
Just can't remember who it was they beat.
Czech Republic.
Yes, Czech Republic.
Okay.
Then there's going to be some tough countries to play down the line, though. France has already beaten them once.
Right.
So they got that going for them. A little mental edge, maybe. And then you got the...
Spain's coming up next.
You got Spain win today?
Yeah. In the quarterfinals.
Okay. Spain coming up. And then you've got Luka Doncic, his team.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Czech Republic?
He plays for
Slovenia. Slovenia.
Starts with a Slav.
Mm-hmm. One of the Slavs. Or Slavs, I'm sorry.
I think it's just Slovenia.
It's
Luka.
Slovenia.
Yeah.
And
So
they've got
they're
a pretty
still in
good
it?
team. They're unbeaten in the competition. So I got them down the line to worry about, too. It's interesting because a lot of these European teams now are made up of NBA basketball players.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't used to be the case. And it kind of hacks me off that we bring them over here, we coach them up, we train them, they play college basketball over here, and then we send them back home to beat us. It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Did that with the 100 meters guy, too. The guy from Italy who won the 100-meter dash. He was born in El Paso, Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think he went to school here.
Is it Lamont Marcel Jacobs?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep. We got the silver in that one, but Italy, for the first time in history, won the gold in that particular race. Crazy. It's crazy. All right. Mayor Lightfoot threatening return of lockdowns. Meanwhile, Lollapalooza was held over the weekend in Chicago. I think we have a photo of what it looked like.
Whoa.
Okay, that looks perfectly safe. There's nothing wrong with that.
100,000 people gathered in Grant Park.
Just jammed in there together.
Yeah, but they're vaccinated, Pat. You have to prove that you're vaccinated, and we've learned that that's making all the difference.
Yeah, if you're vaccinated, you just can't get the disease.
You can't do it.
It's impossible. It's like a force field around you. Once you get that vaccine, you're good to go. People can cough right in your face.
Whoa, right?
Yeah, loaded with COVID-19.
But you're Superman now, or woman.
Yeah, and it won't phase you at all. Won't phase you in the least.
Huh.
Well, except it will. It might. I mean, we don't know.
And it does. 74%
of the new cases in Massachusetts, 74% are fully vaccinated people. But don't let that bother you. That's fine. We knew that was going to happen, actually.
We did?
Yeah, no, but we're going to say we did because we don't want it to seem like we're surprised by anything, despite the fact that virtually everything is surprising us right now. The scientists don't know what they're talking about.
No.
I don't know if you've caught on to that yet, but the science is changing so much that how are we supposed to count on anything you ever say? Because next week it's going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, tomorrow it might be different.
Oh, absolutely. By the end of by close of business today,
right,
we'll have something different to report.
Yeah, there's just no way to tell what your science is telling you, but we're still supposed to follow the science, despite the fact, again, that you can't count on it.
Yeah, and even though these lockdowns proved to not work last time, I mean, Sweden, anyone? Hello, can we look at that model? Because it worked flawlessly with no lockdowns and none of this social distancing and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But meanwhile, we've got leaders threatening more lockdowns, more masks. I saw a thing where in UK, in Britain, 5 times as many teen suicides than death from COVID during the pandemic.
Oof. Wow.
Because your lockouts are sending people over the edge. your lockdowns. And I think that more are definitely coming worldwide. More mandates, more get ready. Here we go. It's a power grab, baby.
Meanwhile, in D.C., the mayor was confronted after she was caught breaking her own face mask mandate on the same day it took effect.
No.
How often do we see this? Like every time?
Every time.
Virtually every time. Fewer than 24 hours after the new indoor face mask requirement took effect in D.C., Mayor Muriel Bowser, a Democrat, of course, was caught breaking her mandate by gathering with hundreds of people at an indoor wedding. So she married him outside. She had no mask on. And her people said, well, she wore a mask inside. No, she didn't, because she was photographed inside completely barefaced. Completely barefaced.
I mean, time and time again. If it's not the mayor of D.C., it's the governor of Michigan,
or the mayor of Chicago,
or the governor of California, or the speaker of the House, or it goes on and on. They make rules for you.
Do as I say, not as I do. And look, we're elites. I mean, you don't really expect us to follow the same rules as you do.
I do.
No.
What do you mean?
That's for you little people. You little people go ahead and run out there and get all infected and stuff. We don't get infected like that.
But I heard somewhere that in the eyes of the law, we're the same.
You believe that?
Is that not?
Wow, are you naive? Wow.
That's
cute.
That's not
that's
accurate?
Cute that you believe that there's the same rules for everybody.
So I have to wear a mask inside.
Right.
But you don't.
That's exactly right.
Because
I'm elite. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that stinks. How do I get to be elite?
You don't.
What?
You don't.
I want to be elite.
No. Yeah, you can't. You can't. Sorry, it's too late.
These people suck.
They really do. They really do. But I mean, that's just how they're acting now. They don't even care anymore if they get caught in these lies. They don't even care.
Oh, it's even worse over in Australia. They're locking down that entire society.
Yeah.
9 deaths. 9 deaths in the last couple of months with the new variants.
Oh my gosh.
Just 9.
Wow. Well, in Europe, they're putting up a little bit of a fight against some of this stuff.
Yeah.
France is putting up a nice little fight.
I love it.
Lockdowns and mask mandates and all of that stuff. They're fed up.
City after city after city in France.
I mean, millions of people are out in the streets. Mm-hmm. It's what it's going to take here, probably, to eventually shut this down. Yeah. I don't know if we're willing to do it. I don't know.
And they're protesting the vaccine passports that allow you to participate in society.
Same thing in the UK. They're getting fed up with it. Some in the NFL are expressing a little dismay at what the NFL is doing. Ryan Tannehill says he gave in to the league pressure for vaccination. He didn't want to, but he said they make it miserable for you if you don't. So he did it. Cole Beasley, though, who I think is now he used to be with the Cowboys, is with Buffalo now?
Yes.
He's resisting. He has not yet gotten the shot. So when you get stars like this, who, people pay attention to and are big fans of, what's going to happen? Are you going to kick them off your team?
Right. Rookie running back Najee Harris for Pittsburgh.
And he looks good so far.
Yeah, I don't have a high enough draft pick to land him in fantasy football. But he's out there with a bracelet on,
He doesn't want it, right?
Right. And so I thought segregation was a bad thing.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought half a century ago we already had this battle.
Now, desegregation seems to be racist. Okay. The segregation thing is now the desirable thing that we're going to do?
It's madness.
Really strange. But the NFL is just a shell of what it once was, of course, back in the days of the NFL films. Now it's more like on the climate-controlled, padded tundra of the new NFL. Defensive warriors intent on sacking opposing teams' quarterbacks must be gentle with that quarterback. And should they avoid any contentious encounter with an offensive lineman and come into physical contact with that quarterback, it is critical that they carefully and tenderly lay him down on a Sleep Number mattress with a MyPillow pillow underneath his head. More importantly, today's players understand that even before they take the field, they must agree and promote the fact that love is love, and that in the new and improved NFL, players must nurture one another lovingly, careful to take into account the feelings of their adversary. No naughty or mean words are to be uttered before, during, or after the contest. Following these rules will result with each and every one of these players being awarded for their efforts by being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Participation fame.
Oh, whoa.
Each player selected for the Hall of Participation will be allowed one emotional support animal each to join them on display, along with a plaque containing the player's preferred pronouns and to which gender they identify. At the time of their induction, for example, one player recently inducted into the Hall of Participation selected the inclusive pronouns of he, she, shim, we, us, they, them, theirs, it, its, y'all, all y'all, and hey, butt cheese. Upon reading the touching plaque, many visitors to the Hall of Participation broke down and wept openly. It is the new NFL.
Wait a minute.
It's pretty good, though.
Guy wants to be known as Hey Butt Cheese? Like
well,
that's on his
one.
plaque.
That's just one of the preferred pronouns he has. There's quite a few others.
By the way, guys, that's going to be our title today, the Hall of Participation fame. So let's make sure that we have like a title there. Wow.
Yeah.
So, by the way, did you know that we're just 3 days away from the Hall of Participation fame game?
Love that. I love that. Because for now, there's still some semblance of actual football in the NFL. And let's just enjoy it, squeeze every ounce of enjoyment we can get out of it while it lasts.
Don't burp the quarterback.
Right. Yeah, don't. Do not do that. All right. 888-900-3393. Got some tweets here. Rock skipping gold medalist.
Oh, wow.
Tweets. Come on, guys. We all know it was dried ice cream on his chin. What else could it have been?
No kidding.
And why didn't they see this beforehand? It's so true. What is the matter with the people around him? I think his staff wants to embarrass him. I don't.
That's a good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like maybe somebody on the Harris team.
Somebody should be fired for not seeing that before he went in there.
Because you know he didn't eat at that desk where he was doing the press conference.
Of course not. There's no way.
Not a chance.
Scott Sweatman tweets, what's worse, Biden held up the note for everyone to read or that he pretended to read the back of the note, which was completely blank?
That is another great point.
It is. It sure is. There's so many points to be made on so many of these things. They're just, you can't unravel all of it, you know? Man. The Steve 42 tweets, correction, Biden is not the leader of the free world. There is no free world left to lead. Does feel that way down. Rants out loud. Remember, if you say nice things about the leader of North Korea, then you're a dangerous Hitler-like tyrant. But if you're a Democrat, Vladimir Putin can be your close friend.
Yep. There's a lot of power in that D.
Yep.
A lot of immunity. Works better than the vaccine.
It must be so nice to be a Democrat because you're never challenged by the media. You can screw up all the time. They'll never call you on it. I mean, it's
no criticism.
It's a nice life.
Like I said, man, it makes you immune.
Yep.
And we're learning the COVID vaccine does not.
Yes. And just a reminder, here's Joe Biden on masks back in May. Here's what he had to say.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
If you've been fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask.
Okay.
Let me repeat.
Please repeat
if you are fully vaccinated,
he's good at repeating
you no longer need to wear a mask.
Wow.
That's pretty definitive.
Yeah, well, then CDC Director Rochelle Walensky on masks. Here's what she had to say.
Once you are fully vaccinated, 2 weeks after your last dose, you can shed your mask.
Look at that.
Yay! Yay!
You can shed your mask.
You can
once you're fully
shed
vaccinated.
your mask.
Joining us now on this very big day is
I love
CDC
flashbacks.
Director Dr.
I do
Rochelle
too.
Walensky. Dr. Walensky, it's
And
a real
there she
pleasure to
is.
have you with us tonight. Thanks for making the time to be here.
My pleasure. Good evening, Rachel.
What a great day for
Great
them.
day.
Look at him.
So I have a lot
Yeah.
of feelings about this announcement, if I could just speak in personal terms. When you said today
She's gonna
in
cry.
that briefing, we have all longed for this moment, like my heart leapt into my throat. It's true, and it is such great news after all
It
this time. And at
sure
the same
is.
time, I am very
Right.
nervous about what you said today.
Are ya?
She's
It
nervous,
is hard for me to imagine myself waltzing into the Stop and Shop tomorrow morning and not wearing a mask. I just feel like I'm not wired that way anymore, and it still feels
That's right.
it
They're
still feels
rewired
risky.
now.
So again,
sure.
forgive me for
They
speaking
are.
in personal terms, and I don't mean to be too blunt about this,
Okay, but go for it.
how sure are you? Because this feels like a really big
see,
change.
look at that. She's a little nervous.
We're sure.
But let the
There's
professional
an extraordinary
talk.
amount of evidence now.
We're
that
sure.
She's got the
demonstrates that
mountain.
Vaccines are
Pause it.
working in
They're
the
working.
real
Not just
world.
evidence. There's a mountain of evidence now.
Wait, I believe she said mountains plural of evidence. Pat, let's be specific. She was very clear. There's mountains,
Of evidence. That's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
It's not just a lot of evidence. We've got mountains of evidence.
And Rachel Maddow is deferring to the professional,
Right.
the head of the CDC,
Sure.
to tell us in May what the course is for this country.
Okay. Here's more.
In cohort studies, in care facilities, in across all states, that these vaccines are working the way they worked in the clinical trials. Importantly, there's also new data, just even in the last 2 weeks, that demonstrates these vaccines are working in against the variants that we have circulating here in the United States. And also, data has emerged that has demonstrated that if you are vaccinated, you are less likely, not likely, to asymptomatically shed the virus and give it to others. So it is this coalescing of all the evidence now that tells us really it is safe to take off.
It's
It's
safe.
safe. It's
to take off your
safe
mask
to take off your mask.
at the Stop and Shop.
Good. All right.
Is there?
And then I think we have
Is there,
more.
an, is there an update on
I believe there
Ms.
is.
Walensky?
I believe
Okay,
there's-
what's she saying now to Brett Baer?
But is there a normalcy? I mean, is the next variant just around the corner? And is that something, that we're always going to be on this stop and start with putting masks on or not?
So I want to just articulate that this was not news that I expected the American people to welcome. This weighed heavily on me to have to do
She's
this.
not
But I
smiling
will
now,
also
Pat.
say
No, she's
that
not.
this virus has been humbling. I was taking care
The
of
virus
patients
has
a year
humbled her.
ago. I joined the CDC 6 months ago, and the science continues to change. And while that is
What was
neither
that? I'm sorry,
simple
what?
nor easy to convey, it's my responsibility to keep the American people safe.
science
And as that science
continues
evolves,
to
I
change.
evolve
Evolves.
with the CDC, the guidance. What I will say is I continue to be humbled by this virus. I have no interest in continuing mask guidance. And the best way to stop a new variant from spreading is to have less virus out there. And the best way to do that is to get people vaccinated and to mask up until they are.
There it is. The science. Of course, it's changing and evolving all the time. So the science we're talking about today is not the science we will be talking about tomorrow.
Said that the best way to combat this is to get people
vaccinated.
You were just on to talk about why you're having to go back to the mask mandate because the vaccines aren't working, which, by the way, the masks didn't work. The lockdowns didn't work. Leave us alone. Nothing you guys have tried for the last 18 months has worked.
And again, why don't they talk about Sweden ever? Why? Because Sweden's the way they handled this virus worked.
Yep.
There have been many times when, like at the beginning and in the middle last summer, it maybe didn't look like it was working so great. But in retrospect, when you see what the situation is now in Sweden and you look back on what they did, it did work. They just kind of let the thing run its course, which is what a lot of people said should happen here. Go ahead and protect as best you can the most vulnerable in the society, but then leave everybody else alone. Let them handle their own safety precautions. If they want to wear a mask, let them. If they don't, let them. If they want to social distance, then let them. You know, I think as we've mentioned many times, people are starting to do that without being told to do that because you have common sense, and I don't want to get close to somebody who's sick.
Here's Sweden's chart of new cases. This is the entire timeline of the pandemic.
Look at that! Wow.
Let me see if I can angle this.
They're the dark line.
Yeah. So that's the.
And what are the light blue
spikes? That is those are like the daily. Like what we're looking at is the average. Hang on a second. Let me do the deaths.
So is that the death rate?
Yes. And this is the death rate in Sweden.
Holy
see that?
Cow!
Now,
wow.
Now, conversely, put up the U.S. Can we put up the U.S. Put up new cases. New cases. So there's the new cases.
Okay.
For the United States.
Going back up. We're still nowhere near the peak.
Now, but see how toward the end there, how it's starting to go up a little bit?
Yeah.
That's where people like CNN, now instead of reporting deaths, they're reporting cases are going up. Why aren't they reporting the deaths? Well, let's see the death chart for the U.S. Oh, because it's still going down.
Jeez.
That's the same time frame right there, those two graphs, new cases and deaths in America. Go back, new cases. All right. And then go back to deaths.
Okay.
We're trending down, clearly.
That's really interesting.
Sure is. Which, if the vaccines aren't working, we had the Pfizer study, we're playing these clips, they're being humbled, right? Then could it be that this variant maybe it's more contagious, but it's not as deadly?
Could be that.
Is that something that they're discussing at the CDC? No, because that's not a control issue.
Because they want to create hysteria. So they can keep the control that they've had over the last year and a half on us. They want that to keep going.
And they've got to justify their paychecks.
Yeah, they do. And they're doing it. Mm-hmm. Now, Dr. Malone is one of the people credited with the mRNA vaccine, the technology around that. And he apparently predicted this was going to happen.
What NBC News dropped yesterday was the statement sourced from an unnamed government official that the titers in the vaccinated are actually higher than in the unvaccinated. What does this mean?
What?
And why do you suddenly see this kind of frantic scramble? This is precisely what one would see if antibody-dependent enhancement was happening. What is antibody-dependent enhancement? Briefly, it's that the vaccine causes the virus to become more infectious than would happen in the absence of vaccination, would cause the virus to replicate at higher levels than in the absence of infection. This is the vaccinologist's worst nightmare. It happened with the respiratory syncytial virus and in the 60s and caused more child deaths in vaccine recipients than unvaccinated. It happened with Dengvaxia, the dengue vaccine. And it's happened with virtually every other coronavirus vaccine development program, certainly in humans, known in history.
Wow.
And it's what the vaccinologists like myself have been warning about since the outset, is the risk of antibody-dependent enhancement.
He's a quack. Don't listen to him.
So you get the vaccine, you're possibly more contagious.
It's just bizarre.
What he is
it's bizarre.
But I'm telling you, man, like you just said, these governments, these officials, they love this power.
Yeah, they do.
And there's countries like Australia where they've had 9 deaths in the last month.
And overall, since this began, what's the count again? It's under 1,000.
923
Think
Australians.
In a nation of 25 million people, they've had 923 deaths from this thing.
And that nation is...
And they're on lockdown right now.
They've got military choppers circling, saying, get back in your homes and stuff. This is... let me get this cursor out of the way here.
Wow.
This is Australia's death map. See this? This is death. You see it on the far right? You see that little tick up right there? That's
Teeny.
why the choppers are circling in Australia over the loudspeaker, telling people to get back in their homes.
Jeez.
It's power, it's control. That's all it is. It's not about safety at all.
Absolutely. All right, let me give you some good news. If you like to snack throughout the day, but you don't want to pack on the pounds, Built Bar is here to save the day. They've got so many flavors. They're all delicious. Something for everybody. When you talk to a Built Bar fan, they're really passionate about their favorites.
Right here.
Yeah. Coconut, the mint brownie, double chocolate, salted caramel, which is my favorite. Cookies and cream, all kinds of delicious flavors. And if you can't pick a flavor right off the bat, they all sound good to you, you can get a mixed box where you'll get 2 of each of their 9 regular flavors. Built Bars have up to 18 grams of protein and 180 calories or less. Really high in fiber and protein and low in calories and carbs. And now you can get your Built Bars even faster because you don't have to type the word bar anymore. Was that tedious,
right?
And time-consuming.
Those 3 keystrokes, man.
Yeah. It wore me out.
It really set my day back because I like to stagger everything, and then all of a sudden I got to type in BAR. Ugh.
I sprained my right index finger doing it.
You didn't?
3 times. Yeah, 3 times.
No.
But now I don't have to worry about it anymore because you just go to Built.com. Use the promo code PAT15 to save 15% off your first order. Promo code PAT15 for 15% off at Built.com. And we're excited to have you back with us. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter, where JD tweets, like I said, with their lockdowns, I think Australia's back to being a prison colony. It must feel like it to Australians. Evan Rogers tweets, we need to lead a charge against vaccine mandates, mask mandates, and more lockdowns. If we're to be taken seriously, we need Jeffy leading the pack, holding the sign, how about no? Sure, that would fix it. From Lumbee IT Department, if they'd been honest about the COVID therapeutics, commonly incorrectly referred to as vaccines, I bet the amount of people who would have gotten it would be 15 to 20% higher. Not that it would have helped, but hey, they'd have hit their arbitrary target anyway.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, possibly.
Therapeutics, they would have gotten more. Yeah. Maybe people thought they were going to be invincible, and so they went with it. I don't know that would have actually increased the numbers.
We'll never know because they decided to call it a vaccine when it really isn't. The mRNA ones, in fact, aren't. I think the Johnson & Johnson is an actual vaccine. But from, let's see, Alex tweets, is a leading voice.
Oh, Alex Brinson, yeah.
He's a leading voice against the COVID vaccine. Makes this point. What if they're not vaccines? I don't mean in the conspiracy sense. I mean legally. If they're therapeutics, no one can be forced to take them. Not without an individual court order and finding of incompetency. Be nice to get somebody to challenge.
Yeah.
And see if that would hold up. There's a lot of things like that. The civil asset forfeiture, abortion. There's so many things that could be taken on and see if you can drive a positive verdict in the court system. Be nice, but nobody's going to do it. Who's going to do it? Also, replying to Alex.
So this is a thread of Alex, so it's a 4-part tweet.
Oh, okay.
So
this is still Alex. All right. Do we have it up on the... Yep. Can you put it up on the screen?
I don't know why you're not.
There we go.
There we go.
And these mRNAs look less like vaccines every day. They don't act mechanistically like other vaccines. They don't confer lifetime or long-term immunity like nearly all other vaccines. They don't appear to reduce transmission significantly like nearly all other vaccines. At best, they reduce disease severity. That's what therapeutics do. So how are they legally vaccines? Because they use your immune system to attack disease? That's how half of new cancer drugs work. And if they're not vaccines, you don't ever have to take them. Against medical advice, it's a thing. Somewhere there's a lawyer good enough to make this argument. Is there a judge brave enough to hear it?
I like it.
Good questions, all.
Yeah, because, employer after employer are getting in line and making it mandatory.
Yeah, if you want to have a job in many industries, you're going to have the vaccine. Then it's going to be a really tough choice. Really, really tough. There's been, like in the NFL, who was it that said, I'll retire rather than get the vaccine.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes. That's
your best wide receiver in the NFL saying that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not some scrub who never plays. So that'll be interesting to see where that ends up.
I wonder if a lot of people are just going to keep working from home.
Hard to do that in the NFL, but yeah,
well, right.
A lot of others will.
No, that's a good point. Yeah.
It's difficult.
Why didn't you catch that pass? Well, you didn't throw it 18 miles.
Right. In my living room, I think one of the walls got in the way.
Pat Gray.
Can you believe it's August already? Amazing. Absolutely amazing. 3 days away from the start of the NFL preseason games.
Yeah, the Hall of Participation Fame game.
So
Thursday night.
Looking forward to it. Also, college football. BYU opens their training camp, their fall camp this week. Is Nebraska going back to work this week? Any idea?
I have not been.
No, wow, really?
Yeah. I mean, have you seen our last few seasons?
Yeah.
So I just know
sort
that
of dampened the enthusiasm.
They play on August 28th. I know that much.
Against somebody good or?
Against Illinois. Supposed to be in Dublin, Ireland. Remember that? And
and they moved it back here.
Yeah.
Got some tweets here. Swank Think tweets, the science is settled and continues to change. It's exactly what's happening. From RI, mountains of data supporting that it's safe to take off your mask, but now that there's a molehill of data that says masks are needed, we're going to go with the molehill. From Mandy Gifford, Mandy Gifford 4, panic is setting in because they're figuring out they're not really gods and they can't control a virus. But they can control society. They can control all of us, and that's their goal.
If we let them.
Yeah, if we let them. And we're letting them. For the most part. Pro-oxygen I am. Me, divisive for not cheering for the U.S. women's soccer team. U.S. women's soccer uniting for kneeling during the anthem.
Nice. Yep. There it is.
Yep. By the way, the New Zealand weightlifter, the trans weightlifter, the first one ever in the Olympic Games.
Yeah, proud moment for New Zealand.
Laurel Hubbard.
There she is
her name. Beautiful. Look at that. Just absolutely lovely.
I saw her first.
Just absolutely beautiful. She crashed out of the Olympics after making history as the first trans woman to compete in a solo event. What does that mean? She crashed out.
Okay, so I guess she lifted the weights there, and then dropped them over the back of her head.
Okay, that's crashing out?
I guess.
So she's done. She's not going to get a medal?
Yeah, that's what happened.
Wow.
Too bad, right?
Wow.
Shoot.
People thought she was going to pick up a medal, too. She was a medal contender.
Yeah.
Hard to believe.
She's going to go back to her part-time gig being a swimsuit model. Not going to be an Olympic champion after all.
That's certainly appropriate. Based on what we just saw. Look at that. Look at that. So lovely. So very, very lovely. What's interesting, too, in Cuba? Have you followed what's going on there?
What's the latest?
Another Cuban military leader was killed late last week.
Wow.
That's the 6th in 10 days.
What?
Yeah. 6 military leaders. 5 of them generals. So statewide television, state-run television, Wednesday last week announced the death of rebel army combatant Gilberto Antonio Cordero Sanchez. His body was cremated, and his ashes were placed at the Veterans Pantheon, where they will remain until they're transferred somewhere else. The announcement did not specify Cordero Sanchez's rank, and neither did it give the cause of death. But I love how they've been spinning this the whole time. It's like yet another military official has suddenly died. We're absolutely baffled at what's going on. The cause of death appears to be lead poisoning on this poor guy. Apparently, he was highly allergic to hot lead penetrating his skull. Who knew? Who knew? We didn't realize that at all. Doctors quickly administered Benadryl.
Didn't help?
It was too late. Apparently, no, it did not help. They're back.
So this guy did not take the vaccine recently.
No,
that's
he did
not
not.
what you're saying. You're saying that it sounds like, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe I'm just reading between the lines here, is that it sounds like citizens are taking their country back after 70 years.
I'm
60 years.
I don't know where you're getting that.
It just feels that way. But admittedly, as I said at the onset, I have not been following closely what's going on there.
Right.
So
well,
what
let me
do
tell
I
you
know?
about some of the other 6.
Okay, tell me.
Tragic deaths of military leaders over the past 10 days. Of the other generals who died, one slipped in the tub after having been hit in the head with a sledgehammer.
Wow.
That was weird, yeah. So another tub accident. We've talked about this.
Bathtubs are very dangerous.
Another died from heat stroke after he was doused with gasoline and set on fire. And still another hemorrhaged internally after having a 2-ton anvil mysteriously fall on his chest.
You got some klutzes in the Cuban military.
Weird stuff going on with the Cuban military. I would go figure. It's just not safe out there.
No, and wear your mask. As I see that,
And wear your mask.
I see CNN reporters are now back to wearing masks for their live shots.
Yes, they are.
Let me virtue signal here
gosh.
from Tokyo. Okay.
Wow.
That's good stuff.
That's great. Now, an Olympic sprinter is seeking refuge in Tokyo, fearing arrest at home. Oh, for what? Wish we knew what.
Yeah, I guess I'll do some Googling here.
Yeah, look. And
instead of looking up
what's
going on with the Husker camp, as you first had me.
Belarus. It's a Belarusian.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. What's her deal here? I don't.
She says she's afraid she might be jailed in Belarus. I'm not afraid of being fired or kicked out of the national team. Concerned about my safety. And I think that at the moment, it's not safe for me to be in Belarus.
Is it because she refuses to wear a mask in public?
I'll bet that's what it is.
Probably.
She hasn't been vaccinated and won't wear a mask.
Those days are coming. Those days are absolutely coming.
No doubt about it. Some liberal apparently didn't like the comparison Fox made over the late last week over some of the deaths, the COVID deaths in Washington, D.C. They dared point this out. There were 4 COVID deaths last week in Washington, D.C., but there were 11 deaths from homicides. Huh.
I mean, there's a facts, right?
Those are facts.
That's just 2 weeks worth of facts right there.
Yeah.
4 COVID deaths, 11 homicides. That's all they're doing? Good job in the graphics department at Fox News for pointing that out.
Yep.
Seriously.
And to show how crazy this is getting for employees and the need to be vaccinated to keep your job, there are some nurses that are protesting losing their jobs from heroes to jobless. Here's one of the signs that we're.
Mm-hmm. Now this is making the rounds. Yeah, this is really making the rounds on social media, basically saying, look what's happened to our society in the course of 12 months.
One of the signs says, we worked through the pandemic with no vaccine. Now they want to fire us.
See, and that's wrong.
Very.
But
then the other sign
is more wrong.
Sadly.
Because look at what's
last year's heroes spelled improperly, incorrectly.
Yeah.
This year's unemployed.
Right. So you need apostrophes on the years.
Yeah.
And you need an E on heroes.
HEROES.
Right.
Yeah.
So if 3 of the 6 words on your sign are wrong, then it's going to be less effective for people like me.
It's harder to take you seriously.
Seriously, like I totally sympathize with what's going on there. I hate that.
Me too.
Hate it. It's wrong.
Me too.
But your sign is too, and I hate that more.
I wonder if these nurses would feel any better with Kexi cookies. I bet if they went to Kexi.com, ordered the new raspberry lemon cookie.
What?
Yeah. Oh.
So wait, okay, new rule. Good. New Pat Gray rule.
Every time I mention it, should bring them in.
I have no authority over this whatsoever, but I think if you're going to be mentioning new flavors, you need to bring them in on a Wednesday or Friday in particular, and let Jeffy and I sample them.
That's generous
live
of you
on the air.
To invite them coming in on a day when Jeffy's here. That was generous, because none of us will get anything but a crumb after he's done with it. That's the only noise you hear, and then you realize, okay, it's over.
And see, what I was thinking was a little less generous. I was just trying to avoid him coming in here on a Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday.
Okay.
Because if he finds out there's free food,
yeah,
just bring him in on Wednesday or Friday.
Right. And speaking of lemon, 7-year-old's lemonade stand was just shut down in Everett, Washington, because the 7-year-old girl didn't have permit. But right next to her was this homeless encampment.
No.
That is still continuing. So I'm glad they have their priorities straight in Washington State, where this despicable 7-year-old is trying to profit on public property, which is against the law.
Mm-hmm.
But the homeless encampment, it's harassing people and is a danger to people. They're not taking care of that. So they've got their priorities straight. That's really good to see. The grandmother of the 7-year-old said, "We've had people coming through here swinging weapons, from the homeless. Something's very wrong with this picture." Yeah.
Well, just a little girl get a pop-up tent, put it up behind you, say, "No, officer, it's cool. I'm homeless. This is
Right.
my store for my home back here."
Mm-hmm. Or just say, "This is a BLM lemonade stand." But they wouldn't touch that either.
Hey, you could. I got this. BL lemonade.
Yes, I like it.
Let's do this.
Barack Obama turning 60 this week, and he's throwing himself a party. I love it. He's hosting his own birthday party, and he's doing this I was like, wait, he's got a Martha's Vineyard estate as well. He's going to turn 60 Wednesday, and he has invited dozens and dozens of his friends to his 30-acre property on Martha's Vineyard. It's unclear exactly who will be invited, but one source says that Oprah Winfrey and George Clooney have definitely received invites. It's going to be big, according to the Hill.
What do you think they're going to do there? Like play wiffle ball?
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Yeah, there's got to be wiffle ball playing. Mm-hmm. I'll bet there's probably some major band or artist that's going to perform here, and all kinds of food. And again, it's on a 30-acre property that he purchased for in a 7,000 square foot home for about $12 million 2 years ago. $12 million mansion in Martha's Vineyard, and he has his Washington, D.C. mansion, which was $8 million. So, Mr. Income Equality, Mr. I'm all about the downtrodden, is living large
and about to host
a
super spreader event.
Yes, right. This will be interesting to see if anybody's masked up or if they had to show proof of vaccination before they came in. Of course, you'd have to have proof of vaccination and the mask now. But this could be a super spreader event. There's going to be a lot of people there. On his 50th birthday, he had Jay-Z, Stevie Wonder. They both performed. Tom Hanks, comedian Chris Rock were all there. I love it. He's just a regular man of the people.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I think we all know that.
Yeah, and like I said, there's definitely going to be a wiffle ball game. He'll, of course, be the pitcher because he's so good at it, as we've learned in the past. You see right there. Look at that. Yay!
Whoa!
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that is embarrassing.
And
Seriously.
if Stevie Wonder is the batter, then it might work out for him. Sorry.
And I love that he gives the fist. Play it one more time.
He
gives the fist like, oh, yeah, that was dead on, man. And they can't get to home plate. Wow. Plus, he's not even on the mound, is he? Show that. Okay,
No.
One more time. He's not even on the mound.
Right.
He's scooted up a lot. Yeah.
He's not. Yeah. And what do you? Don't wear your. Okay, he's at
Wow.
that was a Cardinals game, right? I honestly, I have no idea. I just saw the catcher, and it's the Cardinals, and he's wearing his White Sox jersey.
Oh yeah.
A team he can't even name a player for.
Right.
What? Okay, those were dreadful years. And now
Dreadful.
we're reliving them on steroids now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, 888-900-3393. 65% of Americans, according to a new poll, believe in aliens. 51% reported by military personnel believe in in aliens, that these UFOs and unidentified aerial phenomena, or whatever you want to call them, they believe they're proof of intelligent alien life. Questions about whether smart aliens have come to visit Earth have been asked for decades, and these results show that curiosity, which can sometimes verge into conspiracy theory, persists. But this new poll of 10,417 adults in the U.S., ahead of the release of this is about a month and a half ago or so, shows 65% believe that there is intelligent life on other planets. 87% said UFOs aren't a security threat to the U.S. 12% of American adults had heard or read a lot about the UFO report before its release. Only 12%. And some segments of the public are more likely than others to believe that intelligent life exists on other planets. This view is especially pronounced among younger Americans. About 3/4 of adults under 30 say intelligent life exists on other planets. 57% of 50-year-olds and older. I wonder why that would be. Just a quick pat poll. Call us at 888-900-3393. I'd like to know if you believe. Do you believe in intelligent life on, not microbes or, biological amoebas or whatever, but intelligent life? Does it exist anywhere in the universe? And what do you think these UFOs are? Are they ours? China? Russia? Liechtenstein?
Well, yeah, definitely them. Based on that military report, these are such advanced crafts that if it were Russia or China, you would assume that by this point they would have already taken us over.
You would think so.
How advanced those machines appear to be.
Yeah. And if they pose a security threat, let's say they're not from this planet, and they pose a security threat to us, why haven't they done anything to us up until this point? I mean, what are you waiting for?
I mean,
they've been around for a long time.
Do you go out of your way to, disturb an anthill? Right?
No.
Right, because we have proven in the last year and a half how unintelligent we really are. We're probably just not worth the time. And they're just kind of like, oh, that's so cute. Little ants down there doing their little thing. Let's go look at them. Okay, and then let's go back home. It's not worth taking us over. I mean, I think that's where we're at.
All right, 888-900-3393 with your thoughts. We got Nancy in Texas, too, retired LAPD officer. Hey, Nancy, you're on the Blaze.
Yeah, Pat.
Hey.
I've been listening to you since I got to Texas, since I've been retired. But I thought I saw an email this morning on my phone, and it was kind of funny, and I thought you'd enjoy this. San Francisco County supervisors have voted in to have replace 3,000 of their garbage cans on the street because they aren't working well. So they are going to do greener ones for $60 million.
Wait, the garbage cans aren't working well?
Yeah, they're not doing their job.
Huh. So they can't hold garbage? Because really, that's their only job is to hold garbage.
What do you do?
He can't do that? Wow.
No, so it'll cost the taxpayers about $20,000 a year for each of the taxpayers. But $60 million for 3,000 garbage cans.
For garbage cans, yeah, it's amazing. Sounds like California.
Maybe they'll make them new homes for the homeless.
Hold on a second. Hold on. You said how much are these garbage cans? And this is Los Angeles?
Yeah. No, it's
San
Francisco.
San Francisco. Okay. Yeah. 20,000 each.
$20,000 a piece.
Oh my God.
They're high tech garbage cans.
It's 3,000 garbage cans for $60 million, and they figure the taxpayers will pay $20,000 probably a piece. Over
Unbelievable.
Thanks, Nancy. Appreciate it. They're doing some great things in San Francisco.
Do these garbage cans pick up human feces? Because they need those around the city.
They don't, but they are high tech. And I don't know why you need a high tech garbage can, frankly.
I bet it's these kind like
throw it in there,
yeah,
and then empty it later.
Well, the guy that goes around and makes however much money, I know it's a pretty penny scooping up poop. He could just kill two birds with one stone, dump the poop in the garbage, and he takes it, and then is that not
Yeah,
plausible.
And aren't they paying these people? Seems like they're paying them $100,000
I think
plus.
that's the number that was in my head.
100,000 a year or more.
Yeah.
To pick up
on the poop patrol
human feces off the sidewalk.
These garbage cans in these airports are disturbing. Like the ones that like compact it right there. You put it in, they're automated. You hear them just going down and crushing. Oh, come on. Just let me throw it in there. I'm not waiting. And I'm sure as hell not going to sit there and go, okay, wait, is this landfill? Is this paper? No. It's a garbage can. It's going in there. If somebody wants to sort it later, that's their prerogative, not mine.
Wow. Why do you hate the planet so much?
Because it annoys me. There's a lot of places on this.
It is our home, Keith. It's the only home we have.
Oh my gosh, don't get me started on Houston. Traffic is annoying. China with their viruses. I mean, the planet sucks.
All right, 888-900-3393. Also, you'll be happy to hear that Andrew Quinton Taki, 32 years old, is behind bars now because, well, first of all, he was a participant in the worst event since the Civil War. Yes, January 6th, 2021. So how was he caught? Well, a liberal woman disguised herself as a MAGA supporter on the dating app Bumble so that she could catch him. She's named only as Claire, but she installed the app after a lengthy hiatus and then realized, you know what I could do? I could help the FBI find Trump supporters. So she did. She deleted a photo of herself wearing a vagina hat at a feminist march. Okay, that was her big claim to fame on her, what is it, the page where you tell about yourself.
Like profile page
the
or
profile
bio
page,
or something?
Exactly right.
Oh.
And so the vagina hat photo had to go.
You got to take that off.
Apparently that is unbecoming of a Trump supporter, I guess, in her mind. And she uploaded some generic shot of herself on a boat, changed her political affiliation to conservative, and then reeled in Andrew Quinton Taki, who sent her a photo of himself alleging rioting and bragged about being pepper sprayed during the violence at the Capitol. So he didn't say he was perpetrating any violence. He said violence happened to him, but now he's been arrested by the FBI. So that's great. I'm glad we've got fellow citizens who are narking on other citizens.
First of all, Claire's got too much free time.
Yeah, she does.
I mean, seriously, she went through all this trouble, and I want to know how long did they know each other before he's finally like, check this out. Back on January 6th, you know, the day that democracy almost died? That was me. I almost killed it myself. Wow, we got.
So let's use brain cells before we post things on the internet.
Yeah. Right. And maybe stop bragging about the fact that you were at the Capitol building on January 6th.
Especially considering what's been happening to people.
Yeah.
They're literally, these people are behind bars in
political prisoners now.
Abhorrent conditions. This is so ridiculously over the top.
They've been there for 6, going on 7 months now.
Yeah, you might not want to be telling people you were at the Capitol on January 6th.
Yeah, just a good safety tip. Stop bragging about committing a crime. Stop it. All right. We will see you again tomorrow when it's no longer Monday.
You going to bring some cookies?
So, we'll see. We'll just see. Now, if I don't, you could order them at Kexi.com.
That's not promising at all.
Saying, they're really delicious.
Got a coupon code or anything?
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.